Hello, everybody. Hello. This is our new series of dialogues on Dhammapada. It was inspired by Mr. Hrishikesh, who wrote this beautiful book I'm going to show you now. And this is about Dhammapada verses, where every verse has a nice story background. And I think it will be, since the Buddhist is considered like really the essence, like one of the religious that drives towards the essence of truth. I think it is a very nice thing to learn together and try to understand uh, it together. So now let me share. Okay, so I show you this book from the beginning. And so this is how it looks like Dhammapada verses 1 to 10. This is Mr. Hrishikesh Sharan, who gave a wonderful School of Wisdom that just ended uh, and in last month. And here we have, this is him a few years ago. And he now is in a team where he's making it translations from all the other languages. Right now, the 3 different Indian languages is being translated in the local languages here. So let's see, this is the first chapter. In first chapter, we have twin verses, like 2 verses that are complement to each other. And this is the first, very first story, and this is the illustration of the very first story. And I'm thinking, Sviatoslav, would you like to read out this one?
Yes, happily, thank you. Well, not in Pali, but in English. I
Yeah,
can
not,
read.
not in Bali.
Mind is the forerunner of everything. Everything, good or bad, arises from the mind. It is mind-made. If one speaks or acts with an impure, evil, wicked mind, suffering follows him like the wheel of a bullock cart behind the footmarks of the ox drawing it.
Yes, suffering. So you're the like ox, and it has a chart, and the suffering is following. And this is the story. Would you be so nice and read this one also out? It's 1 page.
Okay, sure.
Should I make
Suffering
it bigger? Is it okay or make it a little bigger?
No, it's very good, thank you. Suffering follows wrong thinking. Story of Chakupala, place in the Jetavana monastery. The Buddha spoke this verse in respect of a blind monk, Chakupala. One day, Bhikshu Chakupala happened to visit the Jetavana Vihara to pay homage to the Buddha. While staying there at night, he practiced walking meditation. In course of the walk, as he was blind and could see nothing, a number of insects coming under his slippers were killed. At dawn, some bhikshus saw these dead insects and reported the matter to the Buddha, saying, "Sir, Chakupala has committed grave crime last night. He has killed a number of insects." The Buddha knew that Chakupala was an arahant and that he had not killed them deliberately. So, after hearing them, the Buddha asked them, "Did you see Chakupala killing those insects?" "No, sir, we did not see." The Buddha then clarified to them, "Just as you have not seen Chakupala killing those insects, so also Chakupala has not seen them being killed. Besides, he is an arahant. An arahant does not have ill will towards anyone. He cannot commit a sin." This satisfied the bhikshus so far as the killing of the insects was concerned, But they were curious to know how, being an arahant, Chakupala was born blind.
Yeah, because in monastery you cannot have blind monks, like so they wanted to know, I guess.
Really? You cannot have blind monks
No,
in
I
there?
think to become a monk, you have to be physically fit. You have
Oh,
to be able to like walk and I think there's like yeah, if I remember correctly, you have to be. So I don't think he was born blind. There's another story I will tell that
mhm.
says how he became blind while he was monk. But
Okay. Mhm. Mhm.
do you want to continue this one?
Okay. To clarify this, the Buddha told them the story of one of his previous lives. In one of his previous births, Chakupala was an eye surgeon. Once a woman came to him to get her vision improved. She promised the doctor that in case her eyes were cured, she would work as a maidservant in his household all through her life. On this promise, Chakupala started the treatment. As the treatment continued, with the passage of time, her vision started improving. Chakupala knew this, but when he asked her about the condition of her eyes, out of fear that she may have to work as a slave all through her life, she told a lie that her eyes were not improving. In fact, were getting from bad to worse. The doctor understood that she was telling a lie. Therefore, out of revenge, he applied an ointment in her eyes, which made her blind for the rest of her life. As a result of this evil deed, Chakupala had to suffer blindness in many of his future lives. Wow.
Yeah, like at that time he was, I guess, not so advanced in monkly thinking or like yeah, he did a evil deed by thinking evil way. And I listened this in YouTube. There's this person, Yutatama Bhikshu. It's like a young monk, and he was also telling a story of this same Shakupala, and he told that in this life, Shakupala was not born blind, that he was um, practicing monk, and then he noticed that his eyes is getting worse and worse, and he went to the doctor, and the doctor gave him medicine and told him that you have to apply it when you're lying down, and then you have to lie down for a while. He said thank you, took the medicine, went home, but he did not lie down while he was applying it, and so for a consequence, the eyes did not get better. They over the time they get even worse. So he went back to the doctor. The doctor asked, have you, done everything that I told you? He didn't say anything. So the doctor gave him some more medicine, and told him to continue. So he went home, and but the doctor followed Shakupala, and then saw that where he lives, there's not even a place where to lie down. He was so dedicated to his meditation and work as a monk that he didn't even sleep. Like he didn't even have a place for sleeping. So the doctor was concerned, like, how could you have to take care of yourself? But Chakupala found that it's more important to keep practicing than to worry about the eyes. And then the doctor told that, okay, don't tell anybody that I was treating you, or that my name is somehow to do with giving you this medicine, because you're not following my instructions. And so he left. And then Shakupala started thinking like, well, I mean, I could lie down and to has save my eyes, but I could instead like keep practicing meditation, and he saw that this physical body and physical eyes are something that is coming and going. It is not permanent. And instead, he focused his teachings. And then one day, on his eyesight gets worse and worse. And then one day, when he was doing his walking meditation, he totally lost his eyesight. And that moment, because he was so like committed to that, the physical body is less important than the mindset and the practice, he became an arhat. The moment he lost his physical eyesight was the moment he gained like a true arhatship. And was like his story, how he became a monk, and he was not born like that. But it the story is about you can do unethical thing, like he was doing here with this lady who came to his place and asked help. That you know, mm, this Yuta Thamma explained that the act is not unethical simply because it fits to the category that you're killing somebody or mistreating. Killing is only unethical because of mind state that one requires to kill. In order to intentionally kill someone, you have to give rise to a harmful and perverted mind state, one that doesn't want to die oneself, but yet wants to cause harm for others. So here the mindset is what is most important. Only through meditation we can affect mind. And as we practice meditation, we see that the clinging, we see the craving, we see our stress that is caused because of this impure mind. And then we start to differentiate like what is right, what is wrong, what is important and less important. And then the effect of the change can take part in our lives. And then when we start differentiate, we start seeing how things are really. And then, yeah. And then we can act in a life in more like interactive way instead of just reacting to it. And when somebody yells at us, we can hear, okay, somebody is making sound. Or if somebody hits us, then we experience this feeling, but we don't think that this person, uh, uh, we don't hold on that uh, to this idea or this picture. This is this like, mm, yeah, that this is the suffering. Any thoughts on that? Mm. Yeah, and also yeah, please.
And just a question. What do you think is the connection between the moral of the aphorism in Dhammapada and the story of this monk Chakupala?
I think there's several things.
Uh-huh.
Um, mm, One thing is how he acted in previous life, and because of his previous life, he did this bad deed. Uh,
Yes, yes.
this, mm, the chart of bad luck, or he many lives he had to suffer. But he did not suffer anymore. In this life, when he became Arhat, he understood that suffering is mind-made and it's more important to practice than to give attention to this physical thing. This clinging to the eyes even, or the stressed worry about what happens. It's all suffering and it all comes from the mind. Mm, uh, all things that we are doing are influenced by the mind. And that's why also Buddha warned that anything that we do with an impure mind will have this influence in our lives and leads to greater stress and greater clinging and greater suffering, exactly like this ox chart, that it is connected. Yeah. But I also like how he brings out that, though he was doing bad, mm, in his previous life, he was suffering many lifetimes uh, next because becoming blind. And also, although he did not do it intentionally, he did kill those bugs. And like if he, how can I say, it has like effect, but it's not a karmic thing. Uh, but it's also, I think this verse gives like a hope that the mind is something that you can change. In physical body, sometimes, I don't know, car accident happens and you cannot help to cause some harm to somebody, or even the killing the insects. Like sometimes it happens, I don't even notice that there's some kind of, and I'm just doing my things and I might kill somebody. So in that sense it is not considered so bad. But at the same time, um, if you think the mind is only like the most important, then at the same time, if you only think causing harm, but you never speak or you never go to the action, this is also a bad thing. Like to make this, you know, differentiation. People think that only if I steal or do physically a bad deed, I am like a wrong or sinful, but they don't understand like how much what we do in our mind is also like paying part of it. Yeah. Any more thoughts about this verse? Mm, if not, then I will go on the next one. Um, and here you can see someone who is very dedicated person to the Buddha. And this is our second verse that goes along with the first one. Mike, if you would you like to read this one?
All right. Verse 2. Mind is the forerunner of everything. Everything, good or bad, arises from the mind. It is mind-made. If one speaks or acts with a pure mind, happiness follows him, as the shadow of a man that never departs him.
Yeah. I just like to say here that shadow is not the burden like a guard. No one has ever been harmed by a shadow. Shadow is something that follows us. That is loyal. That is it never leaves. It never causes burden. It never stresses or harms us. And when we turn around, it's always there. It is something we can depend on. And good deeds are the same. So here is the story. Would you like to read this one-page story? Oh.
Happiness follows right thinking. Story of Metha Kundali. Place, Jatavana Monastery. Mata Kundali was the son of a great miser, Adinapu Baka. The father was so miserly that he did not give anything in charity all throughout his life. At the time of the marriage of his son, he made the ornaments himself so that he could save the wages of the goldsmith. Even when his son fell seriously sick, he did not call a doctor. The condition of the son kept on deteriorating, and it was now clear that the son would die. At that moment also, the father did not call a doctor. Instead, he put his son on a cot outside the house, in the veranda, so that people did not come inside his house to see his possessions. On the other side, the Buddha, during his morning meditation, found the young man in his net of wisdom. So, while going for the alms round in the village, he turned toward the house of Mata Kundali and stood at the door of his house. The Buddha sent his rays of compassion to the youth who was lying with his face towards the house. Mata Kundali saw the Buddha and was keen on getting up from the bed and greet him and pay homage to him. But his body was not in a position to cooperate and he could not get up. However, from the core of his heart, he was intensely full of reverence for the Buddha. He professed his faith in him and felt happy. Though physically he could not attend to the Buddha, mentally he was already one with him. This was enough. When he passed away, he took birth in the Tavatimsa celestial world. From the Tavatimsa world, Mata Kundali saw his father mourning severely at the death of his son. So he appeared before his father in his old earthly form and consoled him not to lament as he was reborn in the Tavatimsa Loka. He also advised his father to invite the Buddha and the bhikkhus for a meal and listen to his discourse carefully. Accordingly, they were invited for a meal. After the meal ceremony, the family members asked the Buddha, "Can someone be born in the Tavatimsa Loka, simply by having a profound reverence in the Buddha, without giving any charity or observing any moral precepts?" To confirm that this was possible, the Buddha called upon Mata Kundali to appear in person in his present celestial form. In response, he appeared before all in his celestial ornaments and explained that he was reborn in the Tavatimsa Loka. The audience had to believe that Mata Kundali had gained so much only through his full devotion to the Buddha.
This is end of the story. So I was hearing the same story from this Buddhist monk Yuta Thamsa Bhiksu in YouTube, and he has a little bit different version of the story. He has a version where everything happens the same way. The son gets sick. The father didn't want to spend money, so he went to different doctors and talked to them and asked, "Listen, if somebody has this and this kind of conditions, how would you cure it?" And they give some advice. And so he tried to cure himself, the son, but since he didn't have like comprehensive understanding of his conditions, the son get worse and worse. And in the end, he was in a dying condition. And I guess in Western life, it's weird that people will put a person who is dying like outside. But I think it was a very good, lucky for the son that he could see Buddha and get to this realization. And so when the boy died, or young man, then the father was very devastated because he did love him very much. He just didn't want to spend money. And then the boy came back as an angel or something, but he didn't recognize his son because since he wasn't from this life, he didn't recognize him. And this boy said like to his father that I have this golden bicycle, but it has no wheels. I would like to have a wheels to drive around. And the father was somehow overwhelmed, and he forgot that in this life he was very clingy to his money, but he wanted to give something. So he says, "Oh, I will get you wheels. What kind of wheels would you like to have?" And then he says, the boy that, "Oh, I would like to have a moon and a sun." And he was like, "But you're crazy. Are you idiot? How can you have a moon and a sun for wheels?" And the boy says, "Well, you can at least see the moon and the sun, but how can you're the same. You are mourning here a person who is gone, but he's gone. You cannot have him back. Like, what's the point of that?" And then he told his father that and the father was like, couldn't believe how can his son be reborn in this heavenly world, because in his life they did not any good deeds. They in Hindu tradition it is believed that if you do certain rituals, if you give money and do some kind of acts, then there's a chance you to become reborn in heavenly worlds and so on. But they did nothing like that. So he went to the Buddha and asked, "How is it like is it possible that this is my son?" And then the Buddha says, "It doesn't really matter what you do. Thousands, millions, and even uncountable beings have gone to the heavens simply by pure state of mind. And you can do all sorts of rituals and good acts, but none of those comprehend to the single act of mental goodness, where mind is pure." And he continues that deeds that have been done with pure intentions, no matter what you do, whether you speak or not, or whether you act or not, when you have pure mind and you have this intention and you set yourself a good way, then you build happiness up like something you can carry around effortlessly, like that has no weight, like the shadow, that also never leaves you. And when your mind is pure, it changes everything. Your teach, your speech, everything is dependent on this mind. And even if you don't act and don't speak, and simply sit in a meditation with a pure mind, where your intentions are pure, then when you do not cling to anything, then uh, yeah, when you keep just seeing, on hearing, tasting, experiencing life, uh, then it's like you don't cause any more karma. And with all the problems going on this world, it is clear that the mind is behind it, all this suffering. And because of the suffering, this mind keeps bringing us back again and again to experience this samsara more and more. And this bhikshu also told that these two verses are among the most important of Buddha's teaching, because they set the framework of reality and our understanding of what's important, that the mind is really the one that is important. And basically, tamed minds leads to happiness, and it is ours to choose whether we like to carry a cart of like ox, or whether we like to carry just our shadow. Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Thank you, Marika.
Oh, you're welcome. uh, One more thing I was thinking. Yeah, the mindset. Mm. And for me personally, it was like a little bit hard to, think like, I understand somebody is doing good when they're physically doing something good, or at least, speaking and motivating others, but when you are sitting in meditation, how can you do a good? I think just the sitting in meditation doesn't mean necessarily good. The state of mind, what you having while doing anything, is that what is important. And really, you can do anything as long as your mind, this is what is important. And though those stories and this, in Buddhism we have different lineages, and we have like different. We have like a Dhamma. We have like a Theravada way. That was like what Buddha taught people. Like, how can I say? Like normal people, not his arhats. This is what we told, the stories and things. And then we have Mahayana that came a little bit later. That mm, uh, that they say that he also um, teach the Mahayana, but he teach it to the arhats. It was not to everybody to hear. But what is the really like a big difference that in Theravada people put a lot of attention what they do, like the acts and the words they speak. And I think in Mahayana a lot of effort is put towards the mental state of mind, that this is the mind is everything, because if the mind is pure, everything else follows. And I think this is also like, the philosophical way is that the mind is important, that the brotherhood of all man, that everybody is equal and being part of this human family, regardless of what is their color or caste or sex or education or any other state. And we are learning different um, mm, religions and different philosophies and scientific recoveries to find out what is the truth. But it's all be done in a, how can I say, not a competitive state of mind, but in order to experience what is the truth. The truth is most important from all the religions, from all the dharmas, from everything. So, yeah. Yes, please.
I also heard that, I read HPB has a comment that the principles of Mahayana were always in existence. So they manifest themselves in different traditions and different teachings. So they are older, the principles themselves. The ideal of the Bodhisattva is, and the path of the Bodhisattva is older than the Buddhism itself and existed before. But in Buddhism, it received like a very strong manifestation, very strong embodiment in what we call Mahayana Buddhism, something like that.
Mm.
And also, I think that traditionally there are three turning of the wheels of Dharma, like three stages of the teaching that the Buddha gave. And the first one is not Mahayana because it taught about the Four Noble Truths and the five skandhas and the Four Noble Truths basically. And then the second, and I think also the third, I'm not very clear about it, they taught more about Mahayana by the Buddha. So it's not like Nagarjuna or Shantideva invented it already like 500 years, 600 years later. They were also given by the Buddha, but as you say, maybe not to everyone. But then I'm not sure. Thank you.
Oh, yes, you're welcome. Yes. I also believe that believe, because like I don't have much proof that this Bodhisattva way is older than Buddhism. Buddhism is only like 200, 600, 2600 years back, when, Buddha was born and become enlightened. And but this is something, yeah, it aims towards something, and most of all, it says that it is possible for us to, reach there. And reading those Dhammapada stories, not only the verses but the stories, I so much like how it is so easy to become like arhat, or enlightened, or like get some kind of stage if you have around you some enlightened beings. But of
Yes,
course,
exactly. If there is a Buddha near, it's easy and quick. People get enlightenment by dozens, by hundreds, it seems sometimes.
yes, just looking at you're sick, you cannot even put your hands up to say something towards him, like this sick boy was. But he becomes, get to the heaven world at least, because he was so dedicated. And uh, yeah, and in his story also, he advised father to follow the Buddha, because it was possible for him without doing any, Hindu sense a good deeds like rituals, and he still get this very good birth. So he advised his father also to follow this footstep, and since the Buddha is around, and I think, but we forget that those people probably have done like a karmic deeds to have the right to be born in it's not like mere
Yeah, exactly. Mhm.
that they are born at the same time and same place, and could meet the Buddha. This boy probably had some previous lives also, that he had worked a lot. And yeah, if we work a lot, yeah, well, there's several possibilities, but one of them is, very least, maybe we will be born in the same time as some really amazing enlightened being.
Mhm.
But I think also we can already live, yeah, what is our aim? Like we can already live and do our best, how can I say, um, to help those beings, because if Buddha become enlightened, and if he left to parinirvana, it means if he left his physical body, it doesn't mean that he's gone. He's still here. His state of mind is still here. Is like also so many others. How can I say, enlightened, or special beings are helping and inspiring us. So you know um, to take this what we have, and and prepare our mind so it will be pure, because I think the preparation of mind is not so easy. Like somebody asked one Buddhist teacher that I like to listen, Geshe Pema Turiya, that how come, I start practicing of good deeds and good thoughts, and it's so hard. The mind goes all the time back, like how, like this critical way, and he says, you have practiced many lives in a one way, and now you're changing, and wanting to everything change in a like a moment. It doesn't. You have put so much force into. If you're doing something, this is kind of practicing. Like if I'm acting lazy, or if I'm acting. How can I say, careless way. This is also like kind of practicing, and now it's a consequences. This karma is coming back, so you just have to be firm and like keep moving on that direction. It's not coming easily because we have practiced so much the other way. Um, but yeah, it's worth going.
Yes, I think if the mind gets distracted during practice, then the results are very, very weak, right? So we may think that we practice a lot, but if our mind is somewhere else, then we will not get far. We will not get much out of this practice, right? That
Yeah.
can be also another explanation. And also interesting to me that it's not enough even to have the good karma to be born at the same time as the Buddha lives on earth or is manifested, because there were many people who were not greatly interested, it seems, even while he was alive and had sangha. That's interesting. So really, you need to be ready in your mind and ready in your karma to appreciate sufficiently. Although we see from the Mahatma letters, and there are very, very powerful words by M, who says that from the uh, from the mountains of Tibet to the ocean, from west to east, everyone was united with one rallying cry
Yeah.
to save humanity from the misery in the name of the one who taught compassion to all men, or something like that. So the unity was probably very, very great, and really peoples and nations got very united. But still, not so many maybe became monks, and maybe some people were not greatly interested. So really, it takes to be ready karmically and ready in your consciousness to benefit from that opportunity, I guess.
Yes, yes, because the next Buddha, there's been predictions that next Buddha comes 5,000 years after this one, or they have some kind of, and
5,000. Is it a, it's a,
1,000 you
it's
said.
a, no, no, how many?
Somebody says somewhere 5,000, and it's like half of
Very
the
interesting.
time is over. When
Well, that's hopeful.
that's hopeful, but the next, because Buddha did not teach Buddhism, he was just teaching. We later named it Buddhism. He had a teaching in Hinduism, and he took this teaching that he has, and he gave us like the purified version of it, that was important, and left the rituals aside. This is how I understood. So the next person who comes, the enlightened one, like will also not be Buddhism. It will be something else. We will probably name it some other way, but it's not about the name. It's about the essence of it, like what is taught here. And this, yeah, please.
It's also interesting to see in the sutras that very often the Buddha says like, this is the teaching of all the Buddhas, or all the Buddhas taught this way, or this sutra was taught all the Buddhas, or something like this. So if you listen a lot or read a lot, it gives an impression that actually the Buddhas are a normal fact in nature, is a normal phenomenon in nature. And we are unused to it. We are like deprived of this contact in this evolutionary difficult period of our development, maybe. But in other worlds, and other systems, and other times, it's actually normal. And there are many, many Buddhas in all directions of space and everything. I don't know, maybe it's done on purpose like this, or, well, probably it is like this. But I forgot why I started to say this.
Yeah, this is so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. That's to show that the next Buddha will probably, as Buddha Shakyamuni did, remembering like the previous Buddhas. There was a Buddha like this, there was a Buddha like that, referring to them, explaining something from their life. Probably the next Buddha also will say, "Oh, there was the one fully enlightened one called Shakyamuni," and will say something about him, perhaps.
Yes, yes. I was thinking when you were telling about how, how many Buddhas there's around, and in a physical sense, but in another sense, and enlightened beings. And, I was thinking about this Kali Yuga, that this is the hardest time, that in a previous time, people were living more in truth, or were more connected to each other and understand it like more, how can I want to say automatically, but it was easier to teach and understand.
Spontaneously.
Yeah, spontaneously, exactly. But now it is like the hardest to understand. But if in this hardest conditions we try, we try to understand, we try to do, then we can get the results more quickly. It's like building a muscle. If you lift not so heavy things, your muscles are developing over a long period of time. But if you are lifting like a heavier things, you will develop them more quickly. So since we have a lot of obstacles here now, it's like if we are practicing now, we are doing more good than if we were practicing when the Buddha is around, and it's very easy to practice. Well, I had I've been lucky to been living like 10 days in near one monastery where every morning when they have the prayer, like it was 5 or 5:30 or something like that, 4:30, 5:30, when we went all there, and then they were praying 1.5 hours, and then we had some time, and then there was a breakfast, and visited it 1 or 2 times, and then I was thinking, okay, now on, I'm just going to sleep. It's too early. But no, if everybody else around you are waking up and going there, then you also wake up. Like this is, you have this. I don't know if it's like a aura feel or what it is. Everybody wake up every morning and went there. Although, like we were commoners, we were living next to the monastery, and we didn't have to. But still, everybody in this group who are also dedicated and came there to listen their teaching some lesson he gives, that everybody went there because it's different. How can I say? It's different. It's so much easier to practice if you have a good conditions around you. And yeah.
Maybe there is a cumulative effect or synergy effect of people practicing very seriously and in a true way together. And then there are many people who practice like this, and some of them reach high realizations. Probably this effect must be very powerful.
Yeah. And if you are very sincere and there's around you some really high beings, then it is, you let them affect you positively. But again, like it's not about waiting until the next Buddha comes and hoping to be lucky enough to be around there when he's passing. It's more about practicing now, preparing your mind now, that because it is not like a one-time thing. It is, connected. That also this young boy. What was his name? Mata Kundali probably had practiced before that he could be, get this good state and get this good karma. And I also like the story that it tells in that sense that, even if you're not doing the rituals and even if you are not doing the like traditional offerings, then it is possible to, get the good states. It's not about in the name of this Hindu gods or in the name of this or that. It is the attitude of the mind that is the most important. And yeah, and also the idea that happiness or the mind is good deeds are like shadows that are following us, and the bad deeds are like a shart and we are like the ox who are pulling it because we know they are taking down our velocity and capacity to move further. Yeah. Any more thoughts on that? If not, then I would finish here because I think it's nice we finished this one double verse and I think it is both said the same idea that the most important is our mind, and it's not about like what we do. It's if the mind is pure, then we have hope and we have the mind is most important, and the mind leads us to happiness, at the very least. So thank you for being here and sharing this time, and hopefully we will meet again. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.